Good day, all my listeners and friends and family, anyone who's tuning in. I appreciate it. Appreciate you watching this episode of Waxing with Wade, which is episode number 41. Today, I'm glad to be featuring the Doobie Brothers. Finally, yes, the Doobie Brothers from 1973, their third studio album, The Captain and Me. Love that great cover shot. Period attire, horse and carriage, overpass. Similar on the back, longer shot. This is from 1973. Their first album was 1971. Let me introduce the band. This great center shot here, fold out of them having a, looks like a dinner or drinks on the overpass. So left to right, we have Tyran Porter, longtime bassist for the Doobie Brothers, joined them on their second album, replacing their first bass player that was only on the first album. And that was for Toulouse Street, previous release to this. And then we have Patrick Simmons, who one of the co-founders, writes, sings, writes 2 or 3, 4 songs on every album, but not the bulk of the writing. He is most well known for writing Black Water, one of their 2 #1 hits, which came out on the next album, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits, in 1974. Tom Johnston in the center, he's the front man, lead singer, lead writer, wrote most of the songs on this album. Everything's credited to either him or Patrick Simmons, solo, singing and writing, except for one song they all pitched in on that I'll mention. And then we got John Hartman, 4th from left, drummer, original drummer, first album with the band, stayed with them a long time. And then added for this album, a second drummer, Michael Hosack. So, from this point forward, they kind of had a distinctive 2-drummer sound. One thing, and that's going to be very evident in this first song, which has 2 drums going crazy, one in each speaker. I can really hear good sitting here between the 2 speakers. That's Long Train Running that we'll start with. 2 other huge hits on this album and another minor hit, and this is really their big breakthrough album, even though Toulouse Street, the previous album, had spawned Jesus Is Just Alright and Listen to the Music, 2 big top 40 hits. They didn't reach #1 and had no hits and not a lot of commercial success on their first album. So, let me mention, look out for Jeff Skunk Baxter sitting in on pedal steel guitar on a song that I'll play. He was has played with Steely Dan and still did at this point, and a session musician. And he plays pedal steel on this album and a song on the next album, played with them off and on. Actually was a member of the Doobie Brothers on some of their albums, including, I believe, Minute by Minute, which won them the Grammy in '79, came out in late '78, with the other #1 hit they had, What a Fool Believes. And now that was the Michael McDonald era. Tom Johnston had left the band by that point. After, in around 1974-5, he had health problems, and he couldn't be 100% with the band. He had stomach ulcers and other issues, and he took a step back, though he stayed involved with them for the next 2 albums for the recording sessions. So, 1975's Taking It to the Streets, first album to feature Michael McDonald, another alum from Steely Dan, recommended to the band by Jeff Skunk Baxter. More of a keyboard guy, obviously, and very pop, smooth voice. So they went a little different direction once he joined the band. And wonderful hit, Taking It to the Streets, from that album. But it went on Grammy winners, and Michael McDonald, longtime Doobie Brothers vocalist. However, Tom Johnston was only able to contribute 1 song on Taking It to the Streets. And even though he was in the recording sessions, some of the time, none of his 4 or 5 songs he wrote and recorded made it onto the album Living on the Fault Line. So actually, Taking It to the Streets is the only album you can hear all 3, Patrick Simmons, Tom Johnston, and Michael McDonald on the same album. I will mention briefly, they are all 3 back together playing as the Doobie Brothers, and I think that's a great lineup. It's their original 3 singer-songwriters, so what more could you ask? Would love to see that tour. Okay. Love this band. You're gonna hear different styles of music, but this album rocks in a couple of places. So you're gonna hear some rocking like maybe you haven't noticed by the Doobie Brothers. Let's go with Long Train Running and listen for the two drums going, two different types of drums, and the harmonica solo, one of the greatest in rock history, one of the greatest on any rock hit song, I would say, done by Tom Johnston as well. Harmonica. All right, so this song really needs no introduction. I'm going to play just the start of it and tease you, but then I'm going to skip ahead to the bridge and the great lead guitar, more in the middle of it. You'll know this song by its great opening, China Grove. Did you remember how hard this song rocks really at the end or midway through? Guitar rock. guitar in that song, both the driving rhythm and that great lead guitar. All right, now we're going to blues it up, continuing with Tom Johnston writing and singing. This is a song called Dark-Eyed Cajun Woman, and it really reminds me or evokes The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King. Those of you that like a great smooth blues guitar, you're about to hear it.
Like a woman I've never seen. Dark-eyed Cajun woman, where are you coming from? Your soul is in the backwoods. They say you never had a home. But I'm gonna know you better if it takes all night and day. Dark-eyed Cajun woman, you never get away. I'll never get away.
All right, now I want to go forward a little because you got to hear this great solo by Tom Johnston in here. Man, what a great guitarist he was. Little unsung, I would say.
You never get away, never get away.
Yeah. Man, wasn't that smooth? Thrill Is Gone, right? Okay, now we're going to hear what I consider the gem, the unsung deep cut of this album that never gets any attention, and this is a Patrick Simmons song. It's been the Tom Johnston show, but so far, Patrick Simmons clears the driven snow, a surprising little tune that has shades of something coming, Blackwater. Listen to the lyrics, listen to the general feel of it, and the way it goes from an acoustic to a vocal-driven chorus that is jaunty, just like Blackwater. Though it doesn't sound like Blackwater, but you can see the beginnings of it here, I think. All right, let's see.
Shade across my mind, thoughts that pass I cannot catch. I reach for you and find that I have come down, not to get come down. When the tree blows, even the sea knows that I have come down. Think I can see now, looking through dreams is not what it seems.
Okay, a little further ahead, we get a tempo change here. It's really cool.
I keep rolling, and I can't stop. Rolling, and I can't stop. It's driving me out of my mind. When the truck stops, I'm way high. Gonna stop, and I'm so close. Gonna stop, and I'm so close. Give me a little more time. Spin me around, keep my love. Give me that soul, don't let me go. Spin me around, keep my love. Give me that soul, don't let me go.
Okay, love that transition into that more rollicking, faster tempo. But here at the end, after it goes back to the acoustic part, we come in with, as if Patrick Simmons said, Tom, I want to rock this thing out at the end. I need a great, distinctive guitar, but not overpowering. Would you lead it out at the end for me? Tom said, of course I will, buddy. And here he does it. 2/3 of the way through that song, there's just no indication that it's going to jam out like that. But I love that rockin' ending, and it's so appropriate because it leads into the most rockin' song maybe the Doobie Brothers ever did, and the most rockin' song on this album, Without You, another of their 3 big hits on this album. I'm going to play the opening, and then we're going to skip ahead to the bridge/chorus leading into a really jamming, almost hard rock section, especially for the Doobie Brothers. The vocals in this thing. The whole band wrote this song. Great opening, and now you're gonna hear where it really jams out here at the end, or 2/3 of the way through. Was that the Doobie Brothers or was that the Who? Wow, what a rocking song, Without You. Now, gonna hear part of the first verse of South City Midnight Lady, but then I want to go and hear all the second verse and the chorus, because that's when the pedal steel guitar comes in. The first verse is more bare bones. This is such a gorgeous song. It's grown on me over the years. I didn't like it as much in the early days when I was listening to the Doobie Brothers, but it's the one that just keeps getting better and better over time. Gorgeous song by Patrick Simmons. 2 of the 6 songs I'll play are by Patrick Simmons instead of Tom Johnson. Acoustic guitar and other instruments. But then shortly we get into verse 2 and listen for this pedal steel guitar. It's a little subtle at times, and then it stands like that. so nice on that steel guitar. And I think that's a nice little song to end the session, spotlight some Patrick Simmons. I hope you really enjoyed the Doobie Brothers. I sure did, I always do. And if you'll come back next week, you know I'll have another surprise episode of Waxing with Wade.